I'm tired of hearing I didn't see it. I'm not race control. Y'all aren't blind. That's not an excuse. You have millions, if not billions of dollars to fund this stuff, and you're saying that you don't see it, that you didn't know. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Green, green, green. The rookie lap is green. All clear, all clear. Go get 'em. No rookie moves.
Welcome to the Rookie Lap. This weekend in Chicago, the traffic looked just about normal, even with race cars out there. I'm Connor, that's Frank the Man Hickman, and that's Austin Blind Fury Wegman. And this is the Rookie Lap.
Well, what's up, y'all? How'd the week go? Weekend?
I had a great weekend. Got to go fishing out in the boat for a little while. Caught some real nice red breast and a catfish, and just enjoyed myself. What about you?
I went and celebrated my patriotism with some tacos and watched some fireworks that were all black for some reason. And
you couldn't see them?
No.
Well, that's what you get for eating Mexican food on American Day.
Yeah. Could you hear them?
They did that on purpose.
Yeah, I heard them.
They had a real good fireworks show right down the street here at one of the churches. I was really impressed. I didn't think it was going to be much, but the granddaughters wanted to go, so we all went down there. And it went on probably 30 minutes right down here at the little Baptist church down the street. It surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, it was real good. I mean, they had a guy professionally running the show where he just stand to the side and ignite everything.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
I didn't do that. I worked on my all-American car.
Which is?
A Mustang.
Well, yeah.
65 Mustang. People
go.
got to know. They do. They need to know that I'm cool. Not really. I think I'm cooler than what I am, but
You got a Mustang and a Camaro.
I don't like to brag
all
about
American.
I switch teams. One weekend I'm rooting for Brad, the other I'm rooting for Larson, so I switch between Ford and Chevy, fairly often.
All right.
Well, I went swimming.
That's right. You got to go down to your
2 days.
grandma's house, didn't you?
Yeah. And I ate soggy Funyuns.
Okay.
It must have been better than them cardboard Cheetos y'all had the other day.
Oh, the ones at the racetrack? Good God. Yeah, they were horrible. Anyhow, didn't they have a race somewhere this weekend?
Yeah, it was
No, they had
soggy.
traffic in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
It was not soggy there this time, for the first time in 3 years.
It got close, though. They got down to the wire there at the end.
Yeah, they almost got there. I don't know. It was soggy in the cars. I think they said it was humid. Some of them were a little wet.
Yeah, I guess Larson especially. I think he was one that his cool suit didn't work, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Shane's failed Saturday.
Yeah, he looked bad when he got out of the car Saturday. If you pay attention, he was pale. You could tell he got heated up pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hey,
Well, that's why I want to start it on Saturday.
all right. Well, let's see what you got.
Well, I thought it was a pretty decent race. I was excited because for the 85th time in his career, Zilish had to go to the back at some point.
Yeah.
In a road course, and you get to watch that show.
Yeah, he makes a habit of that, doesn't he? He finds a way to get to the tail.
I don't know for sure, but I don't know that he's had any road course race that he didn't go to the back. Maybe one.
He reminds me of your dad. For those of you who don't know, Austin's dad, a heck of a race car driver. He used to drive one of my race cars. So at one of the tracks we raced at, if you knocked a barrel down in practice, you had to start the heat race on the tail. Mm-hmm. If you knocked 2 barrels down, you had to start the feature on the tail. Well, it just depended on how Randall, his dad, was feeling that week, whether he took out 1 or 2. But every week he took out some because he liked, and he was a heck of a driver. Mm-hmm. He liked passing people. He got tired of sitting out front by himself. So yeah. Okay. So when he took out 1, I'm sitting there on the radio talking to him. You getting another one today or not? Bam! Well, there you go. I guess we're starting on the tail of the feature.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that seems like it's a constant thing with Zilic to want to get back there.
I think this come through the pack was a little bit cleaner though. He got into one person, but he didn't completely wipe out a few because that's been his trend normally.
No, but his car looked good, so he wasn't as bad as he has been on knocking people out of the way.
Yeah, so he finally got up there and had it covered until that caution came out. And got the restart. So, what do you think about Shane's move?
I'm good with it. When he passed Zilic,
Yeah.
I'm good with it. It wasn't egregious. It wasn't horrible. Yeah, he pushed him a little bit, but Zilich really didn't lose anything. I mean, he might have fell back one spot, but he got it back immediately. What would have happened if the shoe was on the other foot? Would he have done the same thing? I hope so. I hope he's got that much aggression. I believe he does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'll tell you what, I think he was more upset than he showed, though. Because if you paid attention to Zilich's interview,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read exactly what he said. I look forward to racing him next week at Sonoma. And just the way he said it was like, yeah, okay.
He said he was going to remember how he raced him.
Yeah.
So.
But what about you? You good with the pass, or both of y'all?
I'm good with it.
I was fine with it. The fan in me wanted to see a straight up battle. I just been waiting on them to go head to head because I think they might be the two best road racers right now, and I think Zilich might. I guess maybe Ty Gibbs, but I think Zilich might be just about the best thing there is to Shane, and I don't think they've been together before, so I was really looking forward to seeing how that turned out, and it was over before it started. So
Yeah.
maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I think you're right. He probably is the closest thing to Shane right now. I mean, Shane is a god at Chicago. I mean, he's got him covered. I don't think he was running as hard as he could Sunday.
No, he wasn't.
I really don't believe it. He looked just too smooth and too easy. He wasn't that. I don't think he was being as aggressive as he could be. Now, at the first race, I'm not sure about if he had enough for McDowell, though. I'm not so certain that the car just wasn't just right for him, or maybe McDowell was just lights out that much better. But
Well, I want to mention a few more things on Xfinity, and we'll get there. But first, I'm curious how the record shakes up now that Shane won the race. But going into Chicago, Zilich actually had the second best average finish on road courses behind Terry Labonte, and he had the highest winning percentage on him.
yeah,
And so I don't know how that stacks up since Shane went ahead and got 2 more wins, but yeah. And then Junior Motorsports won with 6 different drivers, 9 out of the 18 races this year. They won the last 5 road courses.
yeah, they are very, very dominant.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many of those 6 drivers were Cup drivers, though? Half of them,
Shane, Daniel, and Larson.
Yeah, so that's half of them.
Yeah. But there's that, and then I wanted to give a shout out to Sheldon Creed. He went in there tied on the bubble and is now plus 30. So he had a very, very solid day and got his first stage win of the season. So
Yeah. He did exactly what he needed to do, and he said it too. He said, he was the best of everybody but the other 2. So
Yeah.
he played it smart. He didn't overdrive. He said he knew what he had. He was going to be 3rd place at best, unless something happened to one of the other drivers. A couple other guys had some really bad days. Allgaier, I think he wound up finishing 23rd after a brake problem.
Brakes, yeah.
And then Ryan Sieg, poor Ryan Sieg, man, for a low-budget team, they do really great things, but then with his problems, he wound up finishing 38th. So
yeah, they went.
that's bad.
He came in tied with Sheldon, and Sheldon went plus 30, and Ryan went minus 30.
Yeah.
So they just.
But there's more weeks left. Maybe
Yeah,
he can
he's
get it
still
back.
got 7 or 8 races.
And I believe Sieg could win a race, too, if things just went his way.
He's been close.
Yeah.
Several times. How about the 18 car, though? Sawalich.
He can find a way to have a problem, can't he?
Yeah. He's 19 points behind Eric Almirola, who's only started 7 races this season.
Yeah, I mean, and everything that's happened hasn't been on him. There has been some stuff where he's made mistakes, but he's just one of those guys. If there's a problem, he's going to find a way to get to it.
Yeah. He always qualifies decent for the most part, though.
Yeah.
Maybe
Do
he's
you
like
think
another.
some of that might be because he was so much, or had so much of a better car in ARCA that he was just could do anything he wanted to? Now he's actually having to race harder, and
Yeah,
things just
probably.
aren't going his way as much. He has to push harder and work harder at trying to be competitive.
Money only carries you so far.
That's right. And he's playing with the almost big boys now, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for Xfinity. So
Yeah, I think it was a good race, though. I enjoyed
Yeah,
watching it. So.
it was good. Finally got a dry one there too. And yeah. So moving on to Sunday, we had McDowell, like you said. Back to that. I think he might have been second best to Shane, maybe. I know before the race he said that Shane could be beaten, and he seemed to be giving it his best shot.
He said that after the race too.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I saw just a little while ago where he said if he hadn't broke, he would have won that race.
Yeah, I just don't know because Shane's so good at just doing what he needs to do, not what he can do.
Yep.
And he just waits and waits and waits until it's time. And I think McDowell was probably giving it all he had. And also, Shane on the radio after the race, they asked him about if he thought McDowell could have competed with him. And he straight up just said, no, I actually don't think he was that good.
Yeah.
So,
Well, at the end of the day, we know who we all think is probably the king of the road course and street races.
all time.
All time.
I've seen some comments about maybe Jeff Gordon still has him beat or stuff, but I don't think so.
Jeff Gordon he had his spell where he was the best at the road course, but I'm just telling you, the things that Shane does, it's like if he needs more, he just digs down and gets it.
Yeah.
Gordon could be beat. I think in an even car today, I don't think if you put two exact, like old IROC cars or whatever out there and Shane was in one of them, he's lights out going to beat him.
Yeah, and I think that's the one.
Gordon might could have won, but just to beat him over and over and over, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like that's the one thing that put Shane over Gordon for me is back then you could do more with your car, so he had more of a car advantage too. Than these guys are running the same cars, and Shane's just smoking them.
Yeah.
And these guys are getting the most data and all the study on how to get better, and they're probably the best road course racers in NASCAR as a field.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ross and Suarez got to have the same stuff.
Yeah.
And he's telling them, hey, do this, do that, but
Yeah.
he just got it going on.
So yeah, I got him as the best, and he's actually now the winningest foreign-born driver in the Cup Series with 3 wins. He passed a couple other, Juan Pablo and Daniel.
Yeah.
So he's kind of,
And I imagine more to come.
yep.
As long as they keep going to road courses.
You know, it was actually
Where'd he fall out in the points now? Isn't he like 27th or something?
27th, yes.
Yeah, I know he's coming up. So, hey, maybe he'll get closer to that 16 mark before.
Oh,
then.
after he got 2 more to get.
Yeah.
Next week he'll definitely move up some, I would imagine, unless something goes wrong.
Yeah.
But he was actually, they said that him getting both poles and winning both races has only happened, the last time it happened was Kyle Busch in 2016 at Indy. So,
Yeah.
second time that's ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he's won 3 races in his first 33 starts, and that hasn't been done since Jimmy Johnson in 2002. So, he's making the stats look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
He's just gotta get it going on the round track. So.
Yeah.
See.
And that's, his
If he could
stats
do
will
that, he would
keep
definitely
looking
be
good
a-
if they got
a
this many
force,
road
yeah.
courses.
Yeah.
And you know, he's actually 5th in playoff points now.
Really.
Yeah, he's got 11 playoff points, 1 behind Byron, the points leader, 5 behind Bell, and then Denny and Larson. So if he wins next week, he'll pretty much automatically at least equal Christopher Bell and for 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point system.
Yep.
And what a wonderful point system it is.
But I just found that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I got anything. I mean, he's the best. There's not much else we can say about him.
No.
No, but here's the other thing though. Now they're going to a track that some of these other guys have got better setups for, more experience on, more time on. It is a road course, not a street course, so hopefully it'll be more competitive.
Oh,
Yeah. Some people have said it's a little bit of a different road course, and they think that it might give him less of an advantage. So I guess we'll see. And he hasn't ran here in a Cup car yet. Not that I think it matters too much, but yeah, we'll see. He's going to be top 5. I think
than
he'll
likely.
be competing for the win, but I don't know that he'll run away with it. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. It wouldn't surprise me if he does. But I
Yeah.
hope it can be a more competitive race for some of the other guys that at least they think they have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, well, he wasn't the only one in the race this week. Let's talk
Yeah.
about some of the stuff other people did.
Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs.
He's one I want to talk about just because he put on a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, second place at this road course. He looked pretty good. He looked like, I mean, if he wasn't going to catch him by the end there, but he was really making up a lot of ground on him.
No, Gibbs, I think, is a good road course racer.
Yeah.
Very much so.
He showed that time and time again. He's had a few of them didn't go his way, but even in the Xfinity Series, he ran real good.
Him and Busch are the only two that have gotten top fives in all 3 street races
Yeah.
the last 3 years. So, yeah.
I got to give it to him, you know. I've never been the biggest Ty Gibbs fan of just the way that he's acted before and, you know, his whole situation. You know, everybody pretty much knows that. But I can't deny it. The boy is getting some experience and getting up there. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. Maybe not before the end of the season, but maybe, you know, next season or something.
Yeah, I would have
'Cause he's-
expected it already, but
Yeah.
if it don't happen, it don't happen. But still, you'd think with the
Mm-hmm.
money he's got behind him and the equipment he's got behind him, you would have thought, and his talent, he does have talent, but
Yeah.
I would have thought he would have definitely had a win by now.
Yeah. And, Reddick, they finally put a race together. Well, I guess they got through the melee at Atlanta last week, but
Yeah,
they executed this week and got him a top 5 with a car that deserved a top 5. So,
He had that Superman in him still from Atlanta.
Huh.
He still had that Superman speed going on.
so had they thrown a caution there on the last lap, do you think he had a shot at it?
Oh boy.
yeah, his tires were fresher and he was running almost a second faster lap than Shane at points.
I think he
And
ended
I
up,
don't think Shane was saving too much at that point.
he ended up having the best lap of the race.
Yeah, his fastest lap was 3/10 quicker than Shane's.
Uh-huh.
So I think if they would have had that restart, you would have had him on fresher tires and you would have had Gibbs going for his first win. And I think he said that if he would have been close, he would have tried something. So I would have bet money that Shane might have not gotten out of that one with a win.
Yep.
I'm sure it would have been interesting, but I would have liked to seen it.
But unfortunately, that's not how things played out.
Yeah, that's
No.
not exactly how it played out. A lot of people didn't like that.
Are we going to get into that now?
Don't matter.
I'll get into it.
Okay. Y'all want to go? Because I'm mad.
I think everybody's mad. I mean, come on.
Let's let Connor start this one. Go ahead.
I think that is the most blatant. Just like, yeah, we're going to do this for theatrical reasons. You know, that's exactly why they did it. I don't think any other reason. You know, they wanted Shane to get the win. They didn't want him to go around, which I really didn't want an overtime race anyways, but I would have rather that and then race to the line instead of just cutting it off there. But I will say I think I know a reason why they did do it, and that is because that rain was coming in. They were like, well, if we do overtime, we're going to have to stop it for a minute and do all that, which is, you know, I mean, you can say what you want about that, but it just...
They said that didn't matter.
That's what they said, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a factor on somebody's mind, somebody up there and, you know, up top saying, don't do that. But I think just let them race to the line. I mean, that's just the biggest takeaway from it. I mean, it was about to be really good. And given the fact that they didn't throw cautions for a lot of accidents earlier, you know, like they would throw them, but it took them. Yeah,
Barry
like
sat
Barry.
out there for at least 2 minutes.
Yep, they didn't.
Driver door first.
Yeah, they didn't throw one out for him. I know it took him, I don't remember how long Kyle Busch's took when he spun around and couldn't get going for a minute and stuff like that. But I'm like, you'd think these things that they've thrown cautions for way less before, and they going to take a while to throw them at this track, and I just aggravated.
Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Why are we talking about it again? And I'm tired of hearing I didn't see it. I'm not race control. Y'all aren't blind. That's not an excuse. You have millions, if not billions of dollars to fund this stuff, and you're saying that you don't see it, that you didn't know, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You should have officials in every single corner patrolling this course, watching with radios. Hey, we got a car hit in turn 6. It's bad. Throw the caution. I don't want to hear we didn't see it because we're sitting in a room in North Carolina, not even at the track, looking at cameras that when you have the money to put real people out there that can be watching every single corner, you don't need to save a couple dollars. It won't hurt you. And when you have a driver saying, I need help, and you wait 35 seconds to throw the caution, but other people can spin out and they get a caution immediately and keep rolling, it's ridiculous. It's uncalled for, and it's not okay.
That's the bad part, when he did actually come on his radio and said, need help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else you got to say? My leg's cut off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't know what need help means. That mean, he could have been, the steering wheel could have been through his, half up in his chest. So, yeah, at that point, all bets should have been off when you hear a driver say need help.
I mean, we got a caution.
Maybe they can say they didn't hear that, but I'm pretty certain they can hear everything that goes on in cars.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't hear it, that's not an excuse. They should hear
And
it.
he hit a ton.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he hit that wall. God, that was scary looking.
I don't know if y'all saw the POV. What car was it behind him? I can't even remember at this point when he hit that wall. I mean, when he slammed into it, like that whole back end just parts just flew out into the car behind him, and I saw it.
I saw that, and I also saw a view that a fan had taken from the side over beside him, and it showed him coming by him, and when he hit it, man, it was violent.
I know. But no,
They said that's one of the hardest hits they've had in that car, if not the
Yeah,
hardest.
I believe it. I believe it. It was horrible looking. But did you hear the conspiracy theory?
Oh, Lord.
There's plenty.
The conspiracy theory that I read earlier was that they weren't going to throw a caution because they weren't going to have a team win a race that's in a lawsuit against them.
Yeah.
They hadn't won a race this year, have they?
No. They had some suspicious brake problems the other week, didn't they?
You know, sometimes conspiracy theories come true. I don't know about that one, but I did see that.
But then again, Denny's part of that, and he's won 3 this season, so I don't know.
Yeah, but he don't drive for them.
No, that's
That's
true.
his
But he
team.
owns them, though, so, I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of...
Yeah, but Joe Gibbs is towing the line. He's doing what he's supposed to, and Denny's his driver. So that's just something that I had read.
I gotta cool off that. I'm mad again. I can't
He's
get
scared.
over
We
that.
were watching the race with Austin, and Austin got pretty heated when that happened. Yeah,
I'm scared for my life.
It's so ridiculous. It can't keep happening. It can't. And
you good now?
I
Almost.
guess.
Well, let's talk about your boy Kyle Busch. He had a good day,
Yeah,
Positivity.
and he actually came from the back and had a good day.
I think he's done that all 3 years, actually.
Yeah.
He went for a little slurpee slide there. He dropped it on the
Yeah.
track and slid through it.
But normally he don't. Once he spins, he's pretty much
Oh, yeah.
mid-pack at best. But he came back today and did well. He was very fast at the end.
Top
Yeah.
5 finish. That's
Second
pretty
top
good.
5 of the year. The other one was at a road course, so
Yeah.
he's just becoming a road course ace.
But he's always been good at road courses.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't something new.
No,
But that more falls back on the driver, not the car, a lot of times. So
yeah.
Yep.
that tells you the skill's still there. They just got to get the car right on him for these oval track races.
Yeah, but I think he's got a couple of shots coming up to have a few more good weeks, so I think their momentum might get going in the right direction.
Well, let's hope so. It'd be nice to see him in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Priest. He ran top 10 again.
Yeah.
He's got the most. We're right here in the second quarter of the season. These last 9 races, Priest has gotten the most top 10s at 6.
Yeah.
And it's just
So where's he at in the points now?
-2 from Bubba.
Okay.
And
Who didn't have a good day?
Yeah, and he hasn't had many good days in a while, so he better hope it don't keep trending this way, because Priest is on a roll. He came from a good ways back, and he's just chipping away. Yeah. Well, Bubba,
Well, yeah, and the other thing there is that just because the priest is chipping away, that doesn't mean there's not somebody behind him that could win a race too, and he's out automatically.
Yeah. So I mean, there's still that.
Yeah.
But
So he needs to get up on the wheel and quit racing around Alex Bowman.
so, what do you think about that?
I think Bowman gave a little bit. He pushed him and beat on him some, but I think it was more Bubba. What I saw now, I know I didn't see every inch of it, but the parts I saw, it looked like Bubba was the one doing the most beating and pushing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Bubba pretty much has come out and said that afterwards, because he said they were cool now that apparently he thought Bowman hooked him, and that's why he started going at him like that. He didn't realize that he wasn't clear, which may be true because the spotters could not see anything like a typical road course, but probably even worse.
Yeah.
So there's that, but I mean, he seemed to own up to it afterwards, and I think he's going to have to, because Denny's done said that it was his fault and Bowman did nothing wrong, and so is everybody else. So
Yeah.
I think that shows real maturity from Bubba, though,
Yeah.
at the end of the race that I saw. It reminded me of last year when him and Larson got in that accident. I forget where they were racing, but they got in some accident, and you could see Bubba at the end. He was marching up to Larson. I was like, uh-oh, well, Larson about to get punched. And he went up and grabbed him, and he was like, dude, that was totally on me, and he just about almost hugged him or something like that. So it's nice to see Bubba cooling down these days and not just
he's
going up to him and just being like, why the heck you do that? I think they both were just kind of like, that's hard racing, man. It's just.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
So no rivalry, and we don't get that boxing match that you've been waiting on.
No.
Okay, we'll have to find somebody else to do it. Maybe all the people that are pissed off at Hoskovar.
Yeah.
It caused the
Austin
Chicago-style pileup.
Yeah, Austin Dillon versus Hocevar.
Sure.
There seems to be somebody mad at him just about every week. So.
It's more than just somebody. I think it's multiple. Yeah, I don't think I blame this one on him as much, though. It was just a genuine mistake. He went in, he turned too soon, he clipped the right wall, and it shot him to the left. And he said that that's what happened, and a lot of other people have backed him up and said that that's kind of how they see it. So he screwed up, but this one wasn't.
No, he didn't run over somebody.
Yeah.
He didn't do something to somebody else. They just happened to get caught up in it. For
Yeah.
him being probably over-aggressive way too early in the race.
Yeah, well, it's like he said on his post when he talked about it. He said, I wasn't hired for my road course abilities, and I proved that again. So he tried.
Good way to put it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more time on the sim.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, how about, I think we skipped over the fight that we were probably going to get is Joey and Ross.
Yeah.
I think it's coming on strong.
Yeah, Joey was pretty upset, and I can understand why, but Ross was upset on the racetrack because he thought Joey was about took him out. He judged things wrong about what really happened, and he went after
Yeah, but
Joey without having all the facts, I guess.
I see it, but I don't excuse it because he didn't have the facts. Nobody on his radio told him it was Joey, and they actually came on afterwards and told him it wasn't Joey. And when Ross was the first one in line to go up to Hocevar for wrecking him earlier in the season, and he kind of wants to point when something happens, why are you going to turn around and do it, and then he's not available for comment. I've noticed that every single time Ross does something, he's not available for comment. And I like a driver that'll own up to it and say I screwed up more than one that wants to run away and hide, because that's what it seems like to me.
I've seen him own up to stuff in the past. Maybe here recently, I don't think so as much. Maybe he will sometime this week. Say, hey,
Yeah, because
that wasn't a good move.
Or maybe he just wants to make sure he don't say something he shouldn't say. Maybe that's what he's thinking. He's like, if I go out there mad, I'm going to say something and somebody's gonna get mad at me. They're gonna fine me this or do something like that.
I guess,
so maybe,
but I mean, he knows he was in the wrong. He dove it in there and just rage wrecked him. He was mad and just. I don't even know that he thought Joey wrecked him. I wouldn't be surprised if he was just mad and drove it in there and just wrecked Joey because Joey was the one in front of him. Maybe the 22B in that car didn't help, but no, it's not the first time it's happened. That's my only problem with it.
Yeah.
He went in there, which it might have been more of a mistake, but
No, it wasn't a mistake. He took him out. I finally
No,
got
not
to see
this
a video.
one.
Oh, okay.
but I'm saying a couple other times this season he's wrecked Joey particularly, and those might not have been intentional, but it's happened a few times now. And so.
Yeah, and it seems to go that way too. Sometimes when you have a problem with somebody, you always wind up in it together.
Yeah.
But he did this one all on his own. He definitely went in there and took him out.
Yeah.
And I don't think I saw the video on the broadcast
No.
Sunday,
no.
but I did finally go back and find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the coverage wasn't amazing for y'all in the TV.
No, it was not.
They had a couple times they were showing pit stall and not a single car was going in. I said I didn't know they let Fox come in this week. I didn't know they.
Well, from what I heard, they're complete. It's like this is their first time doing a road race, and it's their second race pretty much. And so all their directors and stuff are kind of new to this. So I think they're still learning. So I guess to their I don't know, just
Defense?
yeah, to their defense, they're not veterans at this like Fox is, and they're still learning. But no, from what I heard, they missed a lot of the Bowman Bubba battle, and you never saw Ross and Joey, so they got work to do.
Oh yeah, there was a real good battle going on from like 7th to 12th there for a while, and they caught some of it, but there again, I had to go back and look online to find some of it too.
Well, how about Byron, dead last? You know, this one wasn't his fault, and not all of them have been, but he's got the next to last worst average finish over the last 5 races.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only person with a worse average finish than him is Todd Gilliland.
Last guy sucked.
And he's still got the points lead, but the retiree on his way out, Chase Elliott, is only 13 points from being the points leader. He's almost caught him.
How's he retiree? He just won a race.
I'm just,
Because that's what people say about him. You
Yeah.
know, they
Okay.
say he needs to be.
and he
you know,
went
like
back
that.
to being his top 20 self this week, which he had damaging. But
Yeah, apparently his
Yeah.
car was tore up worse than what I saw on television because I heard him talking about it on the radio on some videos I watched again after the race. And apparently, because he said it was just demolished, and it didn't
Yeah.
look that way, but something must have been pretty
you know,
bad.
this car, all the damage is under, you don't see it, and it just kills the car.
Yeah, and he's actually a pretty good racer
Yeah.
when it comes to the street courses, road courses, all those. I mean, he's got a record to prove that he knows how to do that.
You know, I think it kind of showed how hot and just easily annoyed they were this weekend, because he's normally pretty quiet from what I know, and I don't know if y'all heard it.
I
but
heard it. Yeah.
He lit into his guys pretty good.
Yes,
or
he
one
did.
of them.
Yeah. Yeah. He had one of those moments.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He
Where he
told him. He
expresses-
told his spotter, "I need to know that there's a wreck, not just go to the right."
Maybe he's been hanging around Ryan Blaney or something. 'Cause-
Yeah, they are friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I got to hear that one. That was pretty beep, beep, beep.
yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And
There was another driver out there was pretty rough this week too, though. I don't know if y'all caught it, but Cendric, he was beating on a lot of people.
yeah, that's
saw it.
where Ross should have been heading.
Yeah, that's the one he should have got.
I don't know what was on him today.
But I saw, and maybe he
yesterday.
just was the one that got caught on the broadcast the most. But I saw
I
every
don't-
time I saw him, just about he was pushing or beating on somebody.
It's kind of a trend for him on road courses too. I mean, we just had him getting fined at Coda for hooking Ty Dillon, so
Yeah.
he just seems to get enraged and lose his mind, which I guess is a Penske trend at this point, because Blaney don't wreck people, but he loses his mind.
Yeah.
and Joey. So Austin just decides to take it out on people, I guess.
I guess.
But-
yeah, he did this week.
Yeah, he got him a few kills.
Yeah, and he got
Yeah.
killed at the end itself. I mean, his car finally got taken out.
Coming back on him.
Yep. Well, you had them. What about all the mechanical issues? I guess I'll cover this a little bit later, but that was so many problems. And I just wonder why, because they haven't had this many in previous years.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain that. There were quite a few for odd reasons and things you don't normally see.
Yeah.
And as in tune as they are with these cars now and as much technology as they have, that's just kind of hard to imagine. But it was all across the board.
Yeah.
They had some weird things going on that. Let's see, they had to stop the race once for an ambulance to cross. Did you ever hear what happened there? I never did hear what the
It
reason
was
was.
just an emergency with a fan, I think.
They didn't say, okay.
But I stopped my rant earlier, but that's what I was going to say. We can stop the race for a ambulance to go across the track, but anyway. Yeah. That's what I got for garage talk.
All right, well, let's move on then. What we got next?
So let's do the yellow tape takes. Anybody got one y'all want to lead us off with? I got a few.
I do.
All right.
For the fans out there, if we have any, let's explain what yellow tape takes are.
It's just our general opinions, something y'all can agree or disagree with us on, make you mad or happy, however, whichever way you see it. And that's all.
You said you had something?
I do. This is one that I'm very passionate about. Is that we really need to move what race we have on this weekend. Especially after, the 4th of July stuff is in the air and everything like that. Let's bring Daytona back to 4th of July weekend.
I thought you were saying let's go to San Diego.
No, well, I mean, yeah, let's just get out of Chicago for a while. But, yeah, let's bring Daytona back to the 4th.
So I agree, because on top of all of that, when I was littler, I could see a little bit, and their fireworks show is one of the best in the
awesome.
Southeast,
Yeah,
or maybe the
awesome.
country. So it's just, there's nothing like it. But yeah, I think we all agree on that one.
And I know they've got their reasons for everything and change this and bring things, different things to other people, but sometimes you just don't need change.
Yep. How about, I got a real good one. You agree or disagree that Catherine Legg is more deserving than Corey Haim of being in there?
I think this weekend she was. I don't know about the rest of them.
Well, you got to give her a shout out. She came out with a 19th.
Yeah.
If Chase Elliott can brag about top 20, she can too. So that's
that's
good.
fair.
And
I'd have rather seen Haim racing.
yeah,
Yeah.
me too. But she beat him.
But yeah,
It was fair and square.
she figured out a way to get in.
And I think this is more her style of racing. And the fact that she was in a Live Fast car, I think that's the team. And they barely race every week, so coming out with a 19th is a pretty solid finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I was impressed with her. But no, I think Corey Haim probably deserves it every other week.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's something you can't control. There's been a lot of people that made it into races that probably shouldn't have been in there, but they figured out the formula to get there and it worked for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember the dirt race years ago? Who was it? Who's the guy that's always trying to run in the truck series that has a hard time getting in there? Oh God, I can't think of his name. He's always running dead in the back.
I'm not sure.
He's been racing forever. Anyhow, when they ran the dirt track at Bristol, everybody was rooting for him to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew he wasn't going to be a factor in the race, and he finally made it in. And but yeah, it was, occasionally you get that driver everybody wants in just because they they like to see him. He worked hard and he earned it. But in her case, I don't know what she's done to earn any of this. So if she does make it, okay. If she don't, well.
Yeah, I just like seeing somebody. I mean, it's not good for them. And actually, it was Haim's birthday, so what a great present. But
Yeah.
I just like seeing somebody go home. We don't ever have that many cars anymore, so that was cool to actually have a storyline there. But yeah. You got a take, Frank?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. One of them's just as simple as SVG is still the man at the road course and street cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
we agree
he's
there.
got them covered.
What's the other
And
one?
I'd like for NASCAR to actually come out and give an explanation that made sense about the cautions, when and why they call them and why they don't.
Yeah.
And
I
it
don't
just
think they
falls-
have one.
No, I mean,
They flip a coin. That's what they do. You know, they see the flag and they flip the coin and they go, well, I reckon we'll let this one
I know
last.
I've seen them give some reasoning and excuses before, but
But they're never consistent.
and nobody's ever retorted back to them at that interview or when they're doing it about, well, what about this time or that time?
Well, I mean, the guy that does it, the director himself, has came out earlier this season and just said that he screwed up and missed them before. So I mean, they're admittedly saying that they're just messing up, and that can't be happening. You're the premier stock car division in the country, in the world. You need to have these things together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got one. How do y'all feel? Because this race is normally 100 laps.
Hold on.
Okay.
Stop right there. It finally popped in my head. Norm Benning. That's who
Oh,
I
yeah?
was trying to think about in the truck series. I've been trying to look it up and it hit my head while I was trying to look it up. You don't remember that when he was trying to get in the race at Bristol?
I don't remember that one particularly, but I remember him doing the
anyway,
races.
I hate to interrupt you, but it came in my head, and if I didn't get it out, I was going to go crazy.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So this race is normally at 100 laps, and this year they shortened it to 75. Do y'all think 75 laps was the right amount, or too short, too long?
It did
I
seem
think it was
awful
good.
short.
Yeah.
You think it's good?
I do. But that's also just because I'm really not a big road course fan. So for me, the shorter the better. But I thought it was good enough for what it was and just everything going on. It could have stood to be maybe 5 or 10 laps longer, maybe, but I don't know about 100.
Yeah, I wanted more laps, and a lot of the drivers and all the people have said that it was the perfect length. Kind of every lap mattered. There wasn't the dead spots, and adding laps probably would have caused that. But I just wanted more laps because the longest stage in the race was 30 laps, and that just, I want at least like a 50 lap stage, just so there's a pit stop under green, maybe, if there's not a caution.
Yeah.
And just me being the stat guy, with the stages so short, it kind of killed their opportunity here, because they actually went 7 races in a row with a 25 lap run to the Checkered, and that hasn't happened since 98. But when your longest stage is 30 laps, you're pretty much guaranteed that's not going to happen,
Right.
especially when the caution laps dig into it already. So yeah, I wanted more laps, and I think it might have made it a little bit more boring, but I wanted more to add a little bit more complexity. And there was a lot of strategy to this, but I just wanted.
Did they
one
give a
more.
reason why they shortened it, or that's what they did?
I think they just felt they think it fits the time better, and just they think that's kind of where it needs to be. I mean, you've seen them change the laps. Just a couple weeks ago, they added laps to Pocono at the trucks because they thought that one was too short.
Yeah.
And they kind of see how it goes, and then base off of that, see where they think it needs to be. I think they just thought 100 was way too long. And
No,
well,
I didn't have any problem with the other races that they've had there, so
yeah.
I didn't see where it was too long. It all played out, had a lot of strategy, and good racing, all except for what Shane does to them.
Yeah. Well, coming off of that, they're kind of in the talks I think it's like a 2-year optional contract here. They get to choose whether they want to come back or not. And they're also looking here. They might have a deal to go race in Philadelphia or San Diego. So, y'all think it's time to wrap it up in Chicago and go to one of them, or
Yep.
come back here?
Absolutely. Let's let it be what it was. Enjoy what they did there, and let's try it somewhere else. If they're going to do the same thing, do it somewhere else. Make it special.
Yeah, I'm completely under the. I heard something that I kind of like with these new things we've been trying. They've kind of worn them out before they quit. So the last year or two, it's kind of like, why are we still doing this? I like this one. They said there was a lot of interest and people coming, positive energy around this one. And so I think leave it there so that we don't come back next year and now it's, why are we still coming back? Leave it at the people wanting more and leave it on a high note. And
Yeah,
so I think
agree.
it's time to go try somewhere else.
I do have a thought on that. If you are going to get it up and take it somewhere else next year, I think a really prime spot would be to find some way to have it in Washington, D.C. If you're going to have a 4th of July weekend race, and next year is America's 250th birthday, like just block off a few streets, give some donuts around the White House or something, and do it. But how much more patriotic do you get than NASCAR racing in Washington, D.C.? I just think that would be
have
such
a
a good
UFC
idea.
fight on the.
Yeah, they're doing
White
that
House
too.
lawn.
And I think next year's just America's year. So I think that really, if somebody from NASCAR just happens to watch this, just take that to your superiors.
Do you think maybe that's why that they're talking Philadelphia?
It could be. I didn't even think about that.
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe.
I have no idea, and I've never. NASCAR does do some patriotic things, but I've never seen them do anything that big, that other than their little special shows before the race or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and they honor veterans. They do a lot, but it's just they don't never do a big blowout for
Well, no.
something like that. So, but yeah. So where you say there? Where do you think they should go, Austin? What city would you like to see them in?
I don't know too much about any of it, so I don't really care. I just think this is a good point to leave off here and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Atlanta street course. No, the
I
streets
guess
are
any
too.
of the big
the
cities
streets
are
are
going
too
to be
tight.
about the same, though. Really,
Yeah.
you're going to have a lot of big buildings and.
New York street course, Seattle street course.
I think for once the
Or
drivers
Washington.
might disagree though, because
Next.
apparently, like a lot of them are saying they really enjoy this, and Larson said this is his favorite thing they do all year.
Really?
Yeah, so and they might not want to leave, but
Well, it's got to be real nifty for them too. You get to race in all these other tracks where all you see is grandstands around you, and you're driving. You're like, oh, check out that building. That's tall. Oh, look at that. I saw on X actually there were people that they weren't in the stands down there. They were actually standing on top of some of the lower buildings watching the race and stuff. That's just got to be cool to me. That environment.
yeah.
I think as a driver, I would enjoy something like that, no matter what type of race it is.
Well, that's all my takes.
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Yep. I think we're
All
good
right.
there.
How about the rookie move of the race? I think there's a few nominees.
I got one.
Who's you?
I'm
Who
pretty
you
much
got?
stuck with one, too.
I think the basic one, which is the host of our just driving a little too hard, getting in that wreck, piling up 5 cars. That's just the easiest one I could come up with. Really, nobody really.
I think Frank's going to disagree with
No,
you.
I'm not going to disagree
Oh,
at all.
really?
I mean, he made a bonehead move. Why the hell? Why do you race that hard on lap 4? I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense to me. It's
Yeah.
lap 4 in the race. Let me see if I can go a little bit harder here,
Yeah.
and nobody's around me. Let me just run it so hard in there that I'm going to smack the wall and just destroy my car.
Then I guess I'll have to say I got him, but I also think you got to put Cedric out there. I'm putting Ross out there. And Bubba. And I think that's my others.
A whole lot of people made mistakes. I agree.
Yeah.
But I just.
Some of those were uncalled for, though.
Yeah,
I don't-
some of them were on purpose. So is that really a rookie move? But I don't know.
Well,
Ross was definitely on purpose. There was no doubt about that. Some of the stuff Cindric done was on purpose.
and Bubba's was,
Bubba just lost his mind there for a
yeah.
minute.
So, those are my
But
nominees.
then again, he may have been the same as Ross. Like you said, he thought he had got turned. He said, "I'm getting you back now."
Yeah, with all of them, the rookie move I get out of any of it is they needed all of them to just calm down and understand where they were running and not ruin their race over it. And I guess Ross didn't ruin his because he still got a top 10, but Cindric got destroyed. Hosbar got destroyed. Bubba lost 20 spots when he should have just let Bowman roll and maybe would have lost 5, but that's better than 20. And he knew he wasn't going to hold him off because he was on way older tires and was going backwards. So I think they just got to play smarter and look at the bigger picture because, I mean, look at Bubba's +2 on the cut line now. He could have been plus 15 or 20.
Oh, and while all that crap was going on with Bowman and Bubba, did anybody pay attention to what Kyle Busch did? He slipped back there behind him. He said, "I got this, I got this, I got this." And right at the right time, he made that move, 5 cars. He picked up like 5 spots just by playing it, by doing just exactly what you're talking about, keeping his head, playing it smart, and taking advantage of somebody else.
Yeah.
Getting out of control.
All right. Well, that's it for the rookie nominations. How about the crew cut?
I don't have one. I really couldn't think of anything that anybody
The
particular.
last few weeks, I don't know that I've seen anything that any of the crews have done that was just egregious, that was terrible. I just haven't seen it. I've seen it where NASCAR has, but
Yeah, I'll get. So my number 1 nominee is NASCAR for the second week in a row
totally agree.
because of the caution. Also, I want to give one to the TV crew because I don't know. I know Frank saw it, but they've got those camera guys out there on a hot track and they're getting close to getting wiped out.
Yeah, Shane Bach got him one, didn't he?
Yeah. And there's going to be a bad day when that happens.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they should look into that and then,
I mean, I know they got drones,
yeah.
and they probably got some of the finest cameras in the world that they could zoom in or zoom out or whatever they needed to do. But hey, keep sticking somebody out there till he gets his noggin knocked in.
Yeah. But outside of that, I just got, in general, like we said earlier, there was so many mechanical issues. You had Denny blowing his 2nd motor of the year and his 3rd mechanical problem, and Byron losing a clutch. Cody lost his brakes. Larson had voltage problems. McDowell had throttle issues. Busher had a motor.
I think there
Bell
was
had a motor.
something more there with McDowell, though, than just the throttle issue, because I heard him say they had that fixed.
Yeah, they said they had it fixed, and I just got the impression
I
that
didn't
they
know
were
if it was-
wrong.
maybe they were, but I thought maybe it was something a little more after
No,
that.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
But I can't pick any of them. There were just so many issues. But
Yeah.
I do want to give another shout out again. We had the update on JP Keeley last week with his injuries, and this week he's back out there on Shane's crew and got him a win. So
Yeah.
he's back at work.
Sweet.
Speaking of injuries, did anybody catch the mess that happened at Sonola? Where
Yeah.
where the late model went up into the stands, or not actually in the stands, but
Yeah.
cleared the wall and took some fans out. That was horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. And you wonder, you go to some of these NASCAR races and other races, and you got guys down there tell you, "Don't stand by the fence, don't stand by the fence." After seeing that, don't stand by
I've been
the
guilty
fence.
of it in my life.
I have too,
But yeah, that can happen.
that was pretty violent looking at that. And I've seen some cars get up on the fence and tear it down. Fortunately, never get through. But I've seen stuff fly in the crowd, but never seen one come through and actually hit people. But that was bad.
They did say all them guys are supposed to, or all them people were supposed to recover.
Yeah, they're supposed to recover, but
Yeah, it wasn't good though.
no. But I mean, it's your responsibility as grown up to do the right thing. But the track, I'm sure at that track now there won't be anybody that close to the fence
Yeah,
anymore.
probably not.
And hopefully other tracks will take that as an example.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that crap you see at the drag races. It just burns me up every time I watch all these people at a drag race. You got 40 heads standing around a 3,000-pound or 3,000 horsepower race car doing a burnout, have they never seen an axle break or a transmission fly apart or something, man?
Yeah.
It's not.
How do the tracks get away with doing that and letting them be there? How does their insurance allow that? Somebody's
don't
going to
know.
get violently disfigured.
Yeah.
But it's not my track, so do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Youngsters of the day. Y'all got some for this?
I think I'm going to have to throw Austin Hill in there. Come away with a ninth place finish at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a decent road course racer. He does good, but I mean, it was also a cup race.
Yeah. He's my number one. I had Gibbs and Priest thrown in there, and they ran real solid, but I think
he
Hill
just ran
gets
smart
it.
all day and
Yeah.
got a good finish out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took mine. I mean, that's mine too. Gosh.
Okay, well,
Unoriginal again.
unoriginal, but right.
Some of these categories you're going to be unoriginal.
Sometimes when you're right, you're just right.
I'm always right.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know what y'all talking about.
Huh?
I'm always right.
In everybody's head, I think everybody's always right, aren't they?
All right. Sorry to cut you off, but
Well, I don't have anything
don't
else
get
to say.
offended. Vet of the day.
I'm offended.
I got 3.
I'm gonna let
Got
y'all go
one.
first and see what you say and see if it matches up.
I don't
what
want
got.
to steal nobody. Y'all go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
know I'm going to get offended again, so I'm going to say Kyle Busch.
All right, that's one of my 3.
Okay.
Frank, who you got?
That's good. You're gonna make me throw mine out there. I got Tyler Reddick. And the reason I say that, he come
Yep.
away with 51 points.
Yep.
Well, what did Tyler Reddick need? A win.
Mm-hmm.
But if he didn't get a win, what else did he need? Points, because he is, I think, at the top of the points. People that have
Yeah,
points
he
without
is.
having a win, I think he is at the very top. So that 51 points, that really did a whole lot for him.
I'd have to look, but I don't think the gap from him to the next person in points is even, it's probably 100 and something points.
Yeah, it was considerable. I didn't look at it after the race, but it was pretty considerable before. So I think that's who I'm going to put up for it. And like I say, the move that Kyle Busch made when he passed all those people, that was
Yeah.
a real veteran move. Because
Yeah.
I watched him as best the TV would allow it. Leading up to it, he was kind of sitting behind him and Larson, and I think it was Bell. There were 4 or 5 cars there, and he was at the back of it, and they kept trying. And Bubba and Bowman were up there having a wrestling match. And then just right when the opportunity hit, he had himself lined up just right. Shot past all those cars. Very veteran move, very smart way to race.
Yeah. We got to throw the obvious, Shane. And
Yeah,
the other one, I think,
but couldn't he be the rookie too?
yeah.
Yeah,
We already had that
discussion
argument at
in
Mexico.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, he's up for rookie of the year, right? I think he's pretty much got that covered.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that one's close. I don't even know who he's going against. But
Is there anybody else this year? I hadn't paid attention. I think that was a given at the beginning of the year.
I guess Riley Herbst. But yeah.
Is there anybody else?
Riley would count, wouldn't
Who's that?
Yeah, that's
Does
kind
he
of my
race?
point.
he? Yeah.
Poor old Riley.
No.
Well, anyway, him and
He led a lap at Atlanta, didn't
yeah.
he? Okay.
I think the one that's getting really overlooked here is Denny. Denny hasn't been the best on these road courses the last few years. Just whatever's been going wrong or happening. And he started dead last and came away with a top 5.
Yeah, he had a smile on his face at the end of the day.
So he's another one that I think deserves a big shout out.
I think he's pretty much the ultimate veteran driver week after week, though. He makes real good decisions in the car. You know, when I had a bunch of young guys that used to drive a race car for me, that's one of the things I would always tell them. It's not about how to get in the corner, how to do this. It was the very first thing I would try to teach a rookie or a young driver is make good decisions in the car.
Yeah.
You need to have that in your head. Every time you're doing something, make good decisions.
Yep.
Don't just drive in there, oh, I can do this or I can't. No. Before you get there, you already have it in your head what you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Plan
he
ahead.
preaches it every week. I hear him talking about when you've got somebody coming after you and you know they're faster, let them go because you're going to kill each other losing time if you try to hold them up.
Yep.
Just run where your car can run, get your points for that day, and if that's 15th, take 15th. If it's a win, take a win. If it's 10th, take 10th, but don't try to overdo it. And yeah, he's
I mean, if you're going for the championship and it's the last race of the year and you got an 8th place car and the other guy's beating you, take some chances. See if you can figure out a way to make something stick. But just week after week, you got to earn the points. And you got to finish the races.
yeah. All right, let's get into the fan field reactions. Connor, do you want to pull up Gluck's poll and see the latest update? I looked at it a long time ago. I don't know how much has changed.
Let's see what I can find.
While you're doing that, I want to look back into last week. Coming off of the bracket last weekend, Gregson knocked out Briscoe. Y'all know he got on. They had Briscoe's racing gloves up for auction or whatever, and so Gregson was on there. He was like, I knocked him out, so I want these gloves just as a memory or whatever. And he's voting or bidding or whatever, and the price keeps going up and up and up and up. And he finally won them. And Briscoe replied on his post. He said, I knew that was you trying to get them, so I was just running them up for you. And Noah said he'd go and get them autographed and he'd go frame them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Jeff's poll has, if Chicago was a good race or not, has 63% at yes and 37% at no.
All right, so it's changed 1%. But, yeah, I think people are being a little harsh. I think that race deserves more than 60s.
I saw a lot of people that didn't like it though on X and some of the other social platforms that they really weren't impressed at all. I thought as far as just racing goes, it was a very good race. But I'm like you, let's move on, go somewhere else, and have a good race there.
Yep. I want to say I saw this. I guess sports writer from Chicago or whatever for one of their papers. He wrote a headline for us, and it kind of made me a little mad and makes me not want to go back. He said, we never knew we needed auto racing on our beloved lakefront. That's because we did not need it. We speak baseball here. We speak basketball, football, and hockey. And basically his whole thing was, we don't appreciate y'all taking up our streets. And
how many people were at the race?
Yeah, so.
Everybody likes different things, but you know what? Sometimes when it's not your thing, just keep your mouth shut about it.
Yeah.
Let other people that are enjoy. I went to a hockey game one time. I don't know that I'll ever go back, but guess what? The whole stadium was full of people, or not stadium, but the arena was full of people.
Yeah.
They had a lot of fans there. It's just not my gig, that's all.
Yeah.
That's not his gig, but why you got to put it down?
Yeah, he was going to absolutely everything. He asked about, I think, the Grand Marshal or whatever. He was like, you got him out there trying to say, start your engines. Are you trying to kill him? It's hot out there. You got him in that suit looking stupid. It was just, there was nothing positive he could find out of it.
Yeah.
But
and there's a guy on X that does it. I can't remember his name, but everything he puts on there is negative and negative and negative. And whatever, if that's what floats your boat. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I got for the fan reactions.
There was a whole lot of fan reactions about the Cody Ware thing, and I think they were more towards they should have thrown a caution just for his safety.
Yeah. Some people.
I did see some big name people that said they shouldn't have too, though. But it just surprised me that they said that. I mean, safety, number one, safety.
Yeah, that's what they say. So live by it.
Exactly, live by it.
Well.
And of course, everybody's talking about the same things we've already talked about. With they did have a thing about comparing SVG to Kyle Busch though with the sweep. I know you said it's not the same because he only did 2, but
yeah, I mean Larson's done the 2.
Yeah, so he still got a sweep and he got sweeps on the poles. So for all you New Zealand guys out there, your man is the man. He
can still turn right better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I want to get into the green, white, checkered takes. This is one. So we know they've been adding a bunch of plate races, a bunch of road courses. I mean, we got 6 of each now, I think. And go back a few years, it was way, way less. Do y'all have a preference on which one you want to see more between plate tracks and road courses?
What do we call them, plate tracks?
They say
Is it
Atlanta, so yeah.
I'll take
Atlanta.
Atlanta. I'll take Atlanta any day.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Daytona and Talladega, 2 of each is enough for sure.
I wouldn't mind getting rid of a Talladega for another race like yesterday. Just with how it is right now and fuel saving for 188 laps, not good.
I totally agree. I think Daytona, just because of the big experience that you get going down there.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know, the thing about Talladega is it used to be the house of speed. That's where Bill Elliott went so fast, and so many guys broke so many speed records. And that was a big thing there. But what do they run there now? 190-something miles an hour?
Yep.
I mean,
If they're lucky.
you can go buy a car from the dealership now and run the speeds they can there. So,
Yeah.
a lot of the excitement's gone there. And Talladega, I don't think just has the big appeal that the city of Daytona has.
No.
So yeah, they could throw something else different in there. Atlanta, it's a whole different entity.
All right. Y'all got any you want to do, or you want to move
I think
on?
we summed it up already.
Okay. Let's track back into some news from the past week.
I got a couple events I'd like to go over real quick that happened in our NASCAR community this past week.
All right.
First of all, give a big, jolly, happy birthday to the King, Richard Petty. Turned 88 this past week on July 2nd. That's a big event.
And still going strong.
He could get out there and drive a race car. I don't want to hear any naysayers. He could get out there and drive a car right now.
I don't know about that.
I think he could. He's the king after all.
Yeah, he is a king. Happy birthday, King.
And then another shout out I'd like to give is to Ryan Blaney, who announced that we're going to be getting baby Blaney soon. So I thought that was very
Yeah. So he's
very
going to
cool.
lose all his fire because all these drivers just have babies and then calm down.
Mm-hmm.
But
I just thought those were nice events to throw out there. Tell
Well,
Blaney happy.
I don't know. There's a whole lot of fire in Ryan Blaney. It's going to take quite a bit to kick that out of him.
Yeah.
He does have some of the most.
Braxton kicked it out of Kyle Busch pretty good, so
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Hopefully not.
Okay, well, enough of the good news. I want to talk about Suarez is not returning to the 99. I've been bringing this up week after week, and it happened. So, anybody shocked?
Nope. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
All right.
You know he's actually the worst in points now. Shane passed him. Suarez is 29th.
Yeah.
And Shane's got more wins than he does now. Ross, too, so. And
I guess maybe things are performance driven at Trackhouse. I hope it's that way across the board, but sometimes it doesn't seem like it.
Yep.
yeah, Suarez said he felt like his voice was not being heard, but. And Marks just said it's time to move on. That's what the team owner said. So I don't know, but
I don't. According to what I've read, they're not feuding or having a big argument about it.
yeah,
I hate to see a driver be put out. I mean, he's done all right. He's not a top tier driver by any means.
no, and
I think he's somewhat good for the sport.
yeah, well, I mean he's the only Mexican driver, so
Yeah. And he's got a personality.
yeah. So I'm not shocked. I just, in my opinion, they are scared that if they wait another year, they will lose Connor Zilish.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want him going anywhere else because
Can you blame him?
no,
I mean, heck, get him over there.
Yeah.
I think
Everybody else just quit showing up to the road courses.
yeah, because they'll be head to head there,
No,
and
I
then
think I got something to do that weekend. Let me.
he's also been running very good on ovals recently, so
Yeah.
he's figuring it out really fast.
Well, he didn't have no choice.
No,
I'm gonna tell you what. After Larson got in his car, he didn't have no choice.
yeah,
He couldn't be shown up like that, and I think he's got that passion that no, you're just not gonna do that to me.
yeah.
So he went out there and put on a show himself.
Well, that's some news. We also have, I don't know if y'all have heard of Kaylee Bryson. She's been a pretty good driver in some Silver Crown classes, and I think she's won some races and ran in the Chili Bowl or stuff like that. She's making her ARCA debut at Sonoma this week, and LeVar Scott from ARCA is going to be making his Xfinity debut at Dover. So, and he's run pretty good in ARCA too, so I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Who is Alpha Prime Racing? Because that's who he's running for.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's who Parker Resloff drives for. They're not amazing, honestly. They run about 20.
He runs decent from time to time.
Yeah, so.
And did we ever talk about Ryan Newman's daughter?
Yeah, I was trying to. I don't think you ever brought that up.
I don't remember us talking that, but she's supposed to run a full ARCA schedule next year.
Yeah.
And I think Tony Stewart's got a little something to do with that too. So maybe they'll have her in something. Maybe they'll have her in something that can beat out a Gibbs car.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, those and Greg Van Alst, he announced today that randomly, just out of nowhere, he's starting a truck team and is going to run at least 4 races this year. So that came out of nowhere. And how about some bigger ones here? We have Legacy has announced that they plan to start a 3rd team next year, and if not, definitely by 2027. This is coming from Jimmy Johnson. And he says he is specifically impressed with Connor Zilisch and Jesse Love. So,
So they're throwing their hat in the ring too, huh?
yeah, I think they're looking for a 3rd driver for next year, and that might have been part of Trackhouse's decision.
Yeah.
But if Zilisch is getting taken, then I guess maybe we're looking at them stealing Jesse Love. I'd be curious, but that's just.
All right. Well, let's ponder on that for a minute now. Love's probably going to move up. We know Zilisch is going to move up.
Yeah.
What about Austin Hill? Is he ever going to get a cup ride?
I think once Dylan decides he's done, or if he decides to say he's had enough and go,
You think that's what he's waiting for? One of those two to be gone and just go with Childress?
I think that's what he's got to do unless he's going to jump ship.
Just curious because, I mean, he has been a top-tier driver in Xfinity for a while now.
Yeah.
And you get these other guys come in, boom, I'm Mr. Hot Shoe, and go blow right past them and get a good ride.
Well, that spot's opening. Also, I forgot last week, TJ Putcher, I don't know how to say his name. He was the co-founder of Spire, and he's left there, and now he's bought Rick Ware Racing. And he's keeping Rick as a partner, and he's keeping Cody as a driver, but he's planning on starting a 3rd car by 2027, so they're planning to add another ride there. So that's another open spot that maybe somebody will take. And I would imagine that one of these open spots, Suarez might be in the running. I mean, he's got to be in the running for him, whether he takes them or not.
Yeah.
But
I would think. I mean, there's not so many people out there right now unless they want to go with a rookie.
yeah.
I don't know.
But that's all the last stuff I got. I'm ready to get into the bracket if y'all are.
Again, we got to do this again?
Yeah, again.
Okay.
We kind of getting lengthy here. You sure we want to do all this?
Yes, so don't waste time. Just pick your driver. Last week we went, all 3 of us got 4 right and 4 wrong, so that's easy. But going in, we got Ty Dillon versus Alex Bowman.
Bowman.
Dylan,
All right.
what say you?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to take Bowman. I think that's just what's going to happen. John Hunter Nemechek versus Eric Jones, the legacy battle. One of them's going home.
Nemechek.
Jones.
I'm going to take John Hunter. How about Priest versus Reddick?
Priest.
I think Reddick.
You should have to be different, don't you?
Yep.
I'm going with Reddick on that one. It looks like
You're different now.
looks like they finally got that one on the right road. Gibbs versus Zane Smith.
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
All right, I'll agree with you on that one. So that's it for that. Y'all ready to get into a quick game?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Shane becoming the winningest foreign driver. I wanted y'all to try and name all foreign-born drivers that have won in a NASCAR top 3 division, not just Cup.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yep,
Daniel Suarez.
that's 2.
Marcos Ambrose.
Yep. Canada counts.
Oh,
I
Lord.
don't know anything about Canada.
Yeah, some of these guys are Canadian that I'm not sure. Let's see, who's the Canadian?
Well, you're forgetting a big one. Who won the Daytona 500?
I don't know.
Mario.
Yeah,
I didn't know if he was foreign born or not, honestly.
he's from Italy.
I knew his family was from there. I wasn't sure if he was. I've never been big into that.
Yeah, there's them. Who else? A couple other guys. Frank, I'm guessing you might have heard of him. I don't really know him too well. Earl Ross. He ran for Junior Johnson, I think.
No, don't know that one.
Ron Fellows.
Oh, yeah, Ron Fellows, road course guy.
Nelson Piquet Jr.
Didn't know he ever ran a cup. Maybe he won like a Xfinity race or a Busch race or something.
Raphael Lessard.
Heard the name, not real familiar with it.
Larry Pollard.
Yeah.
And you're forgetting the truck guy that just won at Michigan,
Oh, yeah.
Stuart Friesen.
Stuart Friesen, that's right. I didn't know he was Canadian until they mentioned it that
Yeah.
night, honestly.
Well, that's it for that. So let's do some quick picks for Sonoma. Who's going first?
I will.
All right.
Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Larson, and Christopher Bell.
You still on the Larson train?
Still on the Larson train. He's coming back.
All right. Connor?
Well, I think Frank pretty much took off 2 of my drivers with Shane and Larson, but I'm going to throw Allmendinger in there again this week. He surprised me this past week, so I'm going to let it.
All right. I'm taking Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, and Alex Bowman.
Wow. Okay.
So that's it. Do you want to read a little bit of your story real quick?
Y'all want to do a story? You don't have story time with old Uncle Frank?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try this and see how it goes, people. But here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a multiple part story. So if you want the rest of it, if you enjoy this part, then you'll have to come back later or next week, and we'll do a little bit each week. This is a story about when I was, I guess, about 17 years old, and I thought I wanted to be a NASCAR driver. I'm going to read it because I can't remember exactly what I wrote down, so I'm going to have to be looking down here. But
This is scripted.
This is scripted, and this is based very closely on a true story. Somewhere around the fall of 1978, I decided I wanted to be a NASCAR driver. Sort of. I need to mention first that I was somewhat sponsored by Wild Turkey. Yeah, you can kind of see where this is going.
Connor, that's an alcohol if you were wondering.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And after getting very involved with my sponsor over a bonfire, and this actually was on a Halloween night, 1978. Yeah, I decided to go out for some practice laps. Yeah, you can imagine how that turned out. It was going all right until I was pretty deep into Wild Turkey, so it was either NASCAR or maybe it was a local PD decided that practice was over. Well, upon seeing them, I decided, well, practice is over now, but I think it's time for a full-blown race.
Oh, no.
And if you want to know the rest of the story, come back next, or not the rest of it, but part 2, come back next week.
Well, that's a good one. Ended off on that good note. This has been this week's edition of the Rookie Lap, and we will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye now.
Farewell.
Coming to the Checkers, and there. Good job. You only pissed off 87 other drivers, 912 fans, and set the sport back another 53 years. Just pay the $20,000 fine, and we'll try it again next week.